Thank you for joining our live today. And
what I like most about learning at the University of Northampton is that everyone's really supportive and friendly. Not only the lecturers, but also the librarians and any other staff that you see. The first time I went to UNIC, everyone was like smiling at you and they want you to feel welcome.
The teachings in Thailand totally different. When I come here to Northampton, my teachers have the time to speak one by one with me what we have learned. So the quality is very high. The lessons of life we have to learn in university and outside university. Northampton gives me both of these lessons.
I like studying in University of Northampton because they provide scholarship before I came here, and the building is so modern.
Now that I'm here, I feel the University of Northampton has met all my needs. The learning style here is quite different from India, but I think it's really great. We are focusing on the practical aspect, which I think is very important.
The reason why I like the University of Northampton is because of the technology that they've used in the library. It creates easy access for you to obtain books.
The first reason I like make a recommendation because it's new and free Wi-Fi, and it's really safety here. I can share with my flatmate. We cook together and I really enjoy the time in the flat.
Normally, we don't have the time to discuss what's your different opinions. I think compared with the Northampton study style, the teacher give us the chance to discuss with teacher and express our different opinions. I really like the campus because we have the beautiful rivers. We think really feel like at home.
As a mature student, I kind of went into the workplace a lot quicker. So the 1 year that I saved coming to Northampton with the 2-year intensive program was the biggest factor in making my decision. It's accessibility to London, because I do love to travel, so it is nice as a jumping off point to enter Europe and even go home to visit the family.
I feel that my time in Northampton will really help me develop my personality, interacting with people from different culture and learning more about how business operates will really help me shape my knowledge and my personality.
so, hello, welcome everyone. Good evening, and welcome to another live session, especially Facebook live session brought to you by EN Global Education Limited. Thanks everyone for joining us today. And today we have Mr. Chris Neville, Global Engagement Officer, Department of Global Engagement, University of Northampton. Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining today.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So before going to the main session, I would like to give a short brief about our company, which is EN Global Education Limited, how we work and what we work for students actually. So we actually, EN Global Education Limited is a trusted education consultancy firm. Our head office is in Dhaka, and we also do have branch offices in Sylhet, Bajar, and we also have branch offices in Nigeria, Ghana, Pakistan, India, and many more come in Dubai and other destinations as well. We especially help students to choose university courses, application process, visa guidance, and pre-departure support. So if you permit me, I would like to start our main questions, or if anything to say before it, you can add it up.
Well, I'm ready when you are. Please go ahead.
Okay, so as you know, University of Northampton is a very good and great university in the United Kingdom. So can you start with the university background first?
Sure. We actually, like many other universities, we started off 100 years ago, or just over 100 years ago now, as a technical college. And then we started to merge over the years with other technical and design colleges. We became a fully independent university, issuing our own degrees in 2005. So, in some ways, we're quite old. In other ways, we're very modern. We're located in the town of Northampton, which is in central England. And that is one fact that many students, both the British students and international students, like about our university. Northampton is a good home. There's plenty of shops, there's cinemas, leisure centres, an Apple iStore. There's even a Formula One racetrack nearby. But it's a good home, and we're only 1 hour from the two largest cities in the UK, which are London and Birmingham. We're also not that far from many other places, such as Oxford and Cambridge. So it's very easy for those who like to travel around, just as the Canadian student in the video mentioned. Um, Another fact about us, again, which makes us very popular, is we invested a lot of money nearly 10 years ago now, actually over 400 million US dollars, in creating a whole brand new campus, which you saw in that video. That opened in 2018. So that is located very close to the center of Northampton, just a 10-minute walk with my long legs. So it has very, very modern facilities, accommodation, coffee shops, libraries, engineering and IT facilities. Again, you saw some of those in that video, but I really do advise many students who might be interested to check out our website at the various virtual tours that we have. So I think it's a combination of a great location and great facilities.
All right. So in terms of subject and courses, what are the popular courses and what sort of courses you guys are offered inside the university? Yeah.
We offer 3-year undergraduate bachelor degrees and 1-year master degrees, as well as obviously research PhD programs. The most popular programs tend to be related to business. So yes, we have accounting, finance, marketing, business management, project management, the MBA. A few very popular master programs that we've launched in recent years include the MSc Digital Marketing, the MSc Project Management, and MSc Business Analytics are going from strength to strength. These are very popular programs. We also have a variety of computer science degree programs, including software engineering, artificial intelligence and data science, cybersecurity, games design. We offer electronic engineering with computing, mechanical engineering, which can either be studied as a 3-year undergraduate degree or a 4-year combined undergraduate and master program. We also have a range of programs in biomedical sciences, pharmacology, design, psychology, sports sciences, and various health-related programs.
Okay, fantastic. So as I'm talking in behalf of the Bangladeshi students, so what are the general entry requirement for Bangladeshi students for undergrad and postgrad as well?
Yeah. Well, for entry into the first year of undergraduate programs, students need quite a high GPA in their local high school qualifications, or they could enter what we call a year zero, our own foundation program. I'm sure many of you out there have heard of foundation programs, which tend to be offered by usually private providers, but we do have our own. For students who are looking to study a master degree with us, you would need to have completed an undergraduate bachelor degree, achieving a minimum of around 60%. If you get that, that's great. If you've scored any higher than that, we do have a range of automatic scholarships as well. The tuition fees for our programs are very, very competitive. So the majority of our undergraduate degrees, as I just mentioned, design, business, engineering, etc., are £17,000 per year. Master degrees are only a little bit higher than that, so around £19,000 per year. But we do have automatic scholarships, as I mentioned. So these are £2,000, £3,000 and £4,000 per year. We recently changed the way we did scholarships. Up until very recently, we had percentage discounts, but we realized that may have been a little bit confusing. So we've changed those to actual amounts. So if you are eligible for a scholarship, you will be awarded it automatically and it will appear on your offer letter.
So what's the flat scholarship option for PG students, postgraduate students?
Well, if you're reaching the minimum of 60% in your previous qualification, you probably wouldn't be eligible for any scholarship. But if you're getting any higher than that, that's when they click in. So it's not too difficult to get a £4,000 discount on your 1-year master degree.
So is there any other option, like during the time of study, if students will get the good result? So is there any option to get more scholarship other than the flat one during the time of enrollment?
Well, what we do have, we also have been very fortunate to have a surplus of accommodation. I think you saw again some of the accommodation in the video there. So we have a range of university-owned accommodation. So these are single rooms with private bathroom, normally a shared kitchen. The prices range, so for instance, £7,000 a year for on-campus accommodation. But we also have off-campus accommodation available. Still very, very good quality with a free shuttle bus. It's only a 15-minute drive, so we do have a free bus service running every 20 minutes or so. And that has been reduced to £4,000 per year. So I think you could think of that as another form of financial help. And that is only for international students, by the way, not UK ones. So that is another example of how we can help students financially. But what we have seen through our own marketing is that living costs in the area of Northampton are substantially lower than other areas. It also helps the fact that we are a campus university, meaning nearly everything you need is in one place. You're not having to Uber from one class to the next. So we don't have any other type of scholarship at the moment, but at least students know that they will be getting something if they've got decent grades. And as you said yourself, master programs are only 1 year. In many other countries, in fact, most other countries, you'd be looking at a minimum of 2 years. So you're actually obtaining a master degree in half the time and at a lower cost.
Okay, because what I'm asking, because most of the students is in Bangladesh asking for more scholarship.
Oh, everybody asks for more scholarship. Yes, that's why I'm not afraid. You know, obviously we have competition. There's over 100 universities in the UK alone, not to mention other universities throughout Europe and across the world. But what I would advise, and this is why EN Global is so important, is that EN Global can discuss with potential students out there various university options and the costs involved. And I'm pretty confident that you'll find the tuition fees, the accommodation costs, plus the discounts that we're offering do tend to be better than many other universities. I mean, of course, you're not getting anything for free, unfortunately, but it's likely to work out lower than you would otherwise be paying.
All right. So you said that there is on-campus accommodation facilities as well, right? So which is very much affordable for the international students if they want to avail it.
Yes, the ones that I was talking about, which had the discount, is our off-campus accommodation. So that is called Scholars Green.
Okay.
If you go to our website, you'll see that we actually have 3 types of accommodation. On campus, it's called Waterside Student Village. We also have accommodation just across the road that is called St. John's. So that's only a 5-minute walk, but it's convenient for students who want to access the town centre. The third option with a big discount I mentioned is called Scholars Green. That is a little bit further away, only 15 minutes by free bus. So actually it's not inconvenient. The rooms are still very good quality, ensuite bathroom, shared kitchen, plus there's a laundry, a games area. But paying £4,000 for a year for something like that is a very, very good value. Just to note, I did mention that that discount is only for international students, which is why it is not mentioned on the actual web page. So when you are looking at the accommodation prices, I don't want anyone to be confused. Oh, Chris mentioned, 4,000. I can't see that anywhere. When you apply for a single ensuite room at Scholars Green, and you are issued an invoice for it, it will state the reduced amount.
Okay, very good, very nice to hear. So the question is like, if any students like from Bangladesh wants to apply for undergrad or postgrad degree, so what sort of documents needed to apply at the first phase,
Oh, okay.
and how many intakes are you guys offering?
Yes, in terms of intakes, we still have 3 intakes per year. So the main intake is September. So normally the start date for those programs in September is the final week. That is the majority of our undergraduate, in fact, all of our undergraduate, all of our master programs. The next intake after that is January. Now, the January intake has actually grown over the years. We do offer many of our most popular master degrees, including nearly all the master degrees in business subjects. So that would be the MBA, project management, digital marketing. I think I mentioned that before. So quite a few of those programs, along with all our computer sciences, our masters in public health, which is very, very popular for people who've worked in the healthcare industry. It focuses on leadership and best practice. So those are the subjects which tend to be offered in January. The third intake appeared during the pandemic, interestingly enough. That is a much smaller June intake. It depends when, the certain Easter holidays we have in the UK fall. It can be May, it can be June. But we're only offering our 2 most popular subjects for that June intake, which are the MBA and project management. So they are the most popular programs. I think, first of all, with the MBA, some universities would request work experience for that, which we do not do. Project management is becoming very popular, particularly amongst people who have studied engineering, design, architecture, although you don't have to have done that. But these are people who realize now they want to advance their career, and a project management qualification is becoming more important to do that. So yes, we have these 3 intakes per year. EN Global can assist with applications, which are done online. We tend to want to see several documents. The first is any previous education qualification you've done before. So if you're applying for an undergraduate program, any high school certificate document or foundation document. Of course, if it's a master degree you're applying for, the previous bachelor degree. We also need proof of English. So on our website, we do have a list of acceptable English tests, which obviously include tests such as the IELTS, the TOEFL, Pearson PTE, etc. Also language cert. We do accept that test. Quite a few of these tests can be done online. Third document, obviously a copy of a passport. Fourth, a comprehensive personal statement. That's explaining why you want to study that course and why you want to study it with us. Also, ideally, for those applying for a master program, a copy of your resume or CV, which just states any education you've had, any work experience you've had, just so it's easier for us to know more about you. Now, we do understand that at the point that you apply, you might not have all of these documents available. Don't worry. Anything that you don't have, that you can't upload at the time that you're making the application, we will issue you a conditional offer. So anything that's missing, we'll add that to the conditional offer. And once you supply it to us and it meets the entry requirements, we change your conditional offer to an unconditional one.
All right. So the statement of purpose is very important during the time of submission of the application, right?
That's right. It just helps us to know who you are, why you want to study this program, why you have chosen our university, you know, what your hopes and dreams are, what your career plans are. I mean, you have to remember that some programs, particularly those relating to health, they tend to have limited places. So for us to know a little bit more about you without physically seeing you is very handy.
All right. So in terms of English proficiency test, we all accepting like IELTS, PTE, TOEFL, IBT, and TOEFL. So other than that, is there any option from Bangladesh side you guys can accept? PTE, IELTS, and TOEFL accepted?
They're the three main English tests. Obviously, those students, maybe who are at high school, who have studied the International Baccalaureate, O levels, IGCSE, of course, we can accept that. We do list some other tests. Unfortunately, at the moment, we are not accepting Duolingo. That might change in the future, which is why we always advise, you know, our partners and potential students to keep checking our English test page. The Michigan English test, I think a few other Cambridge tests we do. But as I'm sure many of you out there know, that those three main tests, the IELTS, the TOEFL, the Pearson, they're recognized internationally and of very good quality.
So there is a test called Oxford ELLT test. Are you guys accept this from Bangladesh region?
I'm not too sure about that. I'll have to double check, because some we have accepted in the past and some we no longer accept. I mean, what I would really suggest is students need to be looking at a test which includes all four skills. There's reading, writing, listening, and speaking. I mean, if you have a test, if you've taken a test and you're not sure if we accept it or not, then please, you know, include that as part of the application.
Okay. So in terms of career and job support, after the completion of graduation or post-graduation, how Northampton University will going to support the students, especially international students, to get the job?
Well, we actually start supporting our international students a long time before graduation. We start that the day they arrive. We actually have a department called Student Futures. Now, that covers three main areas, all career related. First of all, part-time jobs. We do understand that many students want to help support their living expenses by getting a part-time job. There are actually many jobs available on the campus. I think in the coming week, we have a student, I believe, from Pakistan who'll be working in the international office. We have quite a few in the international office helping us with marketing. So those students who go to our website and want to talk to a current student, you click on, I think it's a Unibuddy, write a message, and that will go straight through to this guy's phone, and he'll hopefully reply to you. So we do recruit students in the international office. We have students working in our on-campus hotel, in the student union, doing a variety of admin, particularly IT and library related roles. Again, going back to the beginning of this presentation, when I mentioned Northampton's location in central England, exactly 1 hour by train between the two largest cities, that makes Northampton a major logistics hub. So I think one big name you will all have heard, Amazon. Yep, they're there. Along with other names you might not be familiar with, Parcel Force, Royal Mail, Hermes. Whenever people are buying stuff online, it's these warehouses which are organizing everything and shipping stuff out. They tend to operate on a three-shift or 24-hour basis. So again, a lot of these organizations provide part-time work, and we can help students to find part-time work. Secondly, internships. Many of the programs, both undergraduate and master, offer either voluntary internships during the summer holiday period or 1 year paid jobs. So if you're wanting to study a master degree with us, as I mentioned, academically it's 1 year. If you want to do a paid internship, it becomes 2 years. So the first year you do your studies, the second year you will have a paid job. So we offer those opportunities across a large selection, certainly, business, IT related, undergraduate and master related programs, including public health as well. That's one of the things that makes our public health MSc very popular. So internships. Thirdly, and I think this is what you're getting at yourself,
Maybe we're having some internet issues. Chris, can you hear me?
once students are nearing graduation, I'm back. The third option in terms of career, for those students who are wanting to stay in the UK and look for work or maybe travel, we assist you in applying for the graduate route visa. So the graduate route visa enables international students to stay in the UK for a further 2 years. Or if you are studying a PhD program with us, I believe that's 3 years. Yes, we have employers coming to us to see our students. Many of our programs, again, particularly the business ones, we have students visiting companies. We provide CV presentation skills training. So we do assist students with whatever they want to do next, if it's looking for work or going on to further study.
So, all right. So I have a personal question to you, Mr. Chris. Like,
sure.
If anyone will go for masters in business management or marketing, so after post graduation, is there any chance of getting a job as a university representative?
It's funny you should mention that. So as you mentioned at the beginning, my job is Global Engagement Officer.
Yeah.
Now, the region that I'm responsible for is sort of North Africa, the Middle East, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. It doesn't always make sense.
Yeah.
I have a colleague who is responsible for India. She is a Moroccan lady. I recruited her at an exhibition in Casablanca in 2018. So she came to study a 1-year marketing master's with us. She then got a part-time job in admissions, and now she's doing the same job as me. So, and I think that's one example. We do have another graduate. She is a Nigerian graduate who's also working as a marketing officer also within international recruitment. I nearly forgot about her. Obviously, I didn't recruit her. So yes, we do. We actually have students working all over the university.
Okay, because why am I asking this question? Because most of the students ask me, where's the future after graduating inside the United Kingdom? So I used to say this, that you will get the job as a marketing officer, as a representative of the university. There's a high chance. So there's no need to worry about. So my question is, in terms of reputation, how do you evaluate University of Northampton for the international students?
In terms of reputation, what we have noticed in recent years, and as I mentioned, we are a fairly new university. Feedback in the National Student Satisfaction Survey continues to improve. So our students are very happy with us. The quality of teaching has consistently been ranked as excellent or very good. We're continuing to launch new subjects which are in line with future trends. We also provide so many services. I mean, free sports club, free gym membership, many student societies, whether you wanted to do martial arts or join a gaming, anime, Islamic society, Christian union. We offer on-campus health center, prayer room, also a chapel. support with opening a bank account, as I alluded to earlier, also support with visas. And we do have students who maybe, for example, need to take a study break. We help with that. So all of that has resulted in us obtaining a very good reputation. We do care about our applicants. We do care about our students. I mean, another thing which, of course, is becoming very important for students applying from various places, we offer sort of pre-visa interview support as well.
So after getting the unconditional offer letter, so what are the initial deposit requirement for the international student, especially from Bangladesh side?
The deposit required for all international students is £7,000. You could call that the first installment, really. You can pay 3 installments per year. So if you include the deposit in that, a £7,000. When you think that if we're looking at a master degree, for example, the full fee is 19,000, you've probably received a £3,000 to £4,000 discount. So you pay the £7,000 deposit. There's not much left to pay after that. So that can then be broken into 2 further installments during your period of study.
So before the precast interview, the student must have to pay the 7,000, right?
That's
Or
right,
after?
yes.
Okay. So the initial deposit amount for the students is 7,000 before the precast interview. Okay.
That's correct, yes. If there are any issues, I mean, for example, if a student applies for a visa and they get rejected, then we will reimburse the £7,000 deposit.
All right. So in terms of student support, like Northampton, University of Northampton is very good at it. Like in most cases, the students from Bangladesh or other side of the world, whenever they go for higher study, they are becoming a traumatic. Like they're mostly Asian people are homesick person, you know that. So is there any counseling support from the university side? If any student facing any major trauma, emotional attachment in this industry, you know?
We do have a counselling team who can support students.
Yeah.
We do have an on-campus health centre as well. One of the things I mentioned earlier, which I really would advise students to do, is engage with the student societies, sports clubs if you're interested, but if you're not interested in those, we have at least 50 different societies. You can find the latest ones on our website. So all of these help with settling in. And we have a total number of around 14,000 students at the university. 30% of them are international. So you're not alone. So you will meet other students from Bangladesh, certainly other from Southern and Southeast Asia and across the world. So it's a great way of making friends and experiencing something new. But yes, support is there if you need it.
So this is very last question, and after that we will have some question from our comment section from the
Sure.
audience. Lastly, but not the least, so why a student should choose University of Northampton over other universities?
Yes, that is a good question. So I've been in this sector for a long time now.
Yeah.
Well, nearly 20 years, and I've worked for 4 different institutions, 3 of which are from the UK. Now, I think I've narrowed it down to 3 key areas. So some of this is my opinion, but it's what other students have mentioned to me. So first of all, the location, as I mentioned at the beginning, not too quiet, not too noisy. And this is what a lot of people tend to complain about. I don't know if you know the famous children's story of Goldilocks and the 3 bears, where there's the 3 bowls of porridge. One's too big, one's too small, but the other is just right. And that tends to be how people perceive Northampton. It's not a tiny place. It's not a huge, scary place. It's a good home. We've got everything here that you need. But if you do want to go and watch Liverpool and Chelsea, or maybe do some big shopping somewhere, you can do that. Secondly, it's the range of programs and the facilities we have. So we are probably the most modern campus in the UK and one of the most modern in Europe. So I think that is a key strength. Thirdly, the costs. So And you might not see this at the moment, but once you start to do your research, you'll find that our tuition fees, our accommodation costs, combined with the various discounts, make us very price competitive. So I would say it's these three main areas that make us stand out, certainly from other UK universities, but from many other universities around the world.
So now we can have some question from our comment section. Like the first question is, hello, good to see you. It's not a question, I think it's a compliment. Okay, so Sadman Sakib asked, how were the precursor interview conducted?
Actually, it's funny because I've been on the private chat. I've only now just clicked on the comments and seen all the dozens of comments there. Otherwise, I probably would have done them earlier. Yes, we used to call it a credibility interview. The thing is, that doesn't sound very nice, is it? You know, that sounds very untrusting. So we've changed it to a pre-CAS interview. Now, this is important because when a student from Bangladesh and many other places go to apply for their UK student visa, it is very likely that you will be interviewed by somebody from an organization we call 𝐘𝐶𝐫𝐬𝐢, which are part of the UK government responsible for immigration. Because this is an interesting thing in the UK, you know. Tourists and students, so they, immigration, well, it's temporary immigration, but it all comes under the same thing. These interviews are scheduled as soon as we receive your deposit. What will happen is that I will send you an email saying, hi, this is Chris. Can we arrange an interview? Let me know when you're free. And we schedule an interview. It's normally done on Microsoft Teams. If for some reason you cannot use Microsoft Teams, we'll find another way of doing it, WhatsApp, for example. And all I do is I'll have a look at your application, what you studied before, your personal statement, and I'll just ask you these basic questions. Why do you want to study this subject? What do you want to do in your future? And what do you know about the University of Northampton? That is actually as simple as it says. Whenever people ask me why students fail visa interviews, it's normally for two reasons. One is they haven't got the finances right, which is why I think it's important for those of you out there to use a very good agent like Ian Global, because they help you with this. You need to have enough in a bank account to cover 1 year of expenses, but that can sometimes go wrong. Secondly, it's because in the interview, students really haven't done their research, and this normally affects the younger ones. So ones applying for undergraduate, studies. Students will say, well, I've chosen Northampton because there's a 24-hour library, or because the teachers are very good. No, we don't need to see you reading page after page of documentation, how big the campus is in square meters and so on. But, just evidence that you've done some research. So I ask you questions about that, where you plan to live. Again, despite the fact that we have a lot of accommodation, and we also give advice on private accommodation, we still have students turning up without anywhere to live, weirdly, which is, not nice. So yeah, very, very straightforward questions. By far, the majority of students I interview pass with no problem.
And so the next question is like, what is the entry requirement for bachelor and masters? Maybe he attended the relate.
Yes, for those of you completing high school at a school in Bangladesh, I think we're looking for a GPA roughly in the area of, I think it's 4 out of 5. Does that make any sense? In that sort of, or if you're at an international school, yeah, around that area, which to me always sounds very, very high. But we do have, as I mentioned earlier, a foundation program. That's our own foundation program. So that's an extra year for those students who do not quite meet our undergraduate entry requirement. For those of you studying an international curriculum, maybe at an international school, we're looking for around 27 in the IB, the International Baccalaureate. With a US high school system, it's a GPA of 3 out of 4. Those of you studying a British system, you'd need to complete 3 A-levels, scoring approximately 1 B and 2 Cs, or 2 Bs and 1 C. The exact breakdown for this, if you look at the different courses on our website, it states the A-level equivalent. For those of you completing, let's say, a diploma, like a HND diploma at level 5, you can actually go into the final year of many of our subjects. We call these top-ups. So they're 1 year, and they are the equivalent to the 3rd year or final year of a UK degree. So these are aimed at those students who are completing diplomas, looking at pass overall, or if you're looking to transfer universities, you can do that, again, with a very average GPA. For those wanting to go into a master degree, again, completing an undergraduate degree in Bangladesh, I believe it's around 60% overall. I think that's about right. We do have PhD programs. Again, for those students who are interested in PhDs, please check out the research sections of our website. Normally, you'd need to have an undergraduate degree, a master degree, a good level of English, and we would need a copy of an idea of what research you want to do. So we call that a research proposal.
So would you love to know about scholarships, like?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, UK universities, they do not normally give sort of large scholarships, maybe that you might see elsewhere. UK universities normally give discounts. So yes, for an undergraduate degree or a master degree, which is priced around £17,000, you can get reductions of up to £4,000 per year. So that is for students wanting to study an undergraduate or a master. At the moment for PhD, we do not have scholarships available. For students inquiring about PhDs, I always advise to also have a look. There's a very good website called findaphd.com, because that tends to give sort of details about research and scholarships available at universities, certainly all over the UK. I think maybe elsewhere now.
So Maisha Ahmed asked, do you accept up to 5 years of study gap?
Yes, that's no problem. In fact, we would sort of expect that in many cases. Students would study a program, then go and work or do something else, then come back and they want to do some study. Absolutely fine, as long as it's included in their resume when they apply. So, why the study gap and what they have been doing during that time.
So Alifa bint Khalek asked about the cash deposit once again.
Yes. So again, I think most universities would ask for some form of deposit. We're asking for £7,000. I know there's some universities which ask for 5. I think there are more which ask for higher than 7. That is for all international students. So once we accept you and you accept us, we would request the deposit. It's very, very easy to pay. It can be done online. Again, Ian Global can help you with that. If there are any issues with your visa application, again, we can reimburse your deposit if things just don't work out. What I would say, though, is make sure that you are sure before you pay the deposit. That you want to study, that you are prepared. You also have enough funds to cover, at least an entire year or so. For those of you who are coming for undergraduate programs, you don't need to pay all 3 years in advance. As I said, you pay annually, broken into 3 installments. But just make sure you discuss with family, relatives, how that's going to be done. And once you are sure, that's when you pay the £7,000 deposit. Oh, I see there's one popped up there. Do you accept 3-year degree pass course? Remind me, how long are undergraduate degrees in Bangladesh? I can never remember this.
Yeah, it's usually 4 years longer, but in some cases it is 3 years from the national university.
Yes, if a student has a 3-year degree program, please apply. Even if we can't yeah, even if we can't find you the automatic route, I'm sure there's some other option we will be able to offer, including something like a top-up program, like I mentioned earlier.
So is there any MRES program, Masters by Research program, offered by
The one that I'm aware of is related to sports science. So again, if there's any prospective sports scientists out there, I mean, sports science, we do offer 5 undergraduate programs in this field. So one is sport and exercise science. I think there's coaching, there's a few others. We do not have a master degree at the moment for it, but yes, we do have a research master's. And again, details for that can be found out by going to the course pages and selecting sports science, and then going down the list, you'll find information about the MRes program.
So is there an option to do second masters?
Yes, and again, this is quite a normal thing. So students who have done, for instance, a master's in Bangladesh or another country, of course, you can come to us to study another master's degree. Also, those students who have completed a master's degree in the UK at another university and want to do another one, yes, of course you can. You just need to be very clear in your personal statement as to why you're doing it. And you just need to check that it's not too similar to what you've already done. So, for example, if you have completed an MBA, which is a Master of Business Administration, why would you be applying for international business management? Like, students who are in that situation might go for something which is pure finance, pure marketing, etc. So just have a think about that.
So maybe the last question, do you accept OIETC? We already had a conversation on it, Oxford ELLT.
Yes, if whatever English certificate you've got, we are going through a period of reviewing our English requirements. So yeah, please upload that with your application, and then we'll let you know if we can accept it or not. What we don't accept at the moment are letters from universities where some programs are taught in English. So, okay, this guy, yep, he studied in English. His English is excellent. We don't accept those at the moment. Again, that's something that might change in the next year. We're going to look at that carefully.
So I do have one question, like, is there any chance of facing the precast interview second time? Like first time there was an error or there's a bit lackings, or is there any chance of getting the second time to meet the precast interview?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, unless there was some form of technical error. But what we do, and this is why, I would advise students out there, if you are going to apply, please apply through the likes of EN Global. I would advise students to be very wary about seeking the advice of people who call themselves immigration consultants or immigration advisors. This is something we've noticed a lot of problems with recently. Certain students from Bangladesh, from Pakistan, who have contacted me to say, well, I use the services of an immigration advisor. Now, it could be an immigration advisor based in Bangladesh or London or Manchester, and they've taken money from the student and nothing's happened. They haven't helped them with them, or maybe they've been given the wrong type of advice, which is always very unfortunate, because I know quite a few applicants have lost money that way. Which is why I would always advise applicants, please use the services of EN Global. You're going to get good advice and safe advice as well. The interview itself is nothing to worry about. The reason why we have done it is because we have noticed, I mean, it is unfortunately true, there have been an increase in the number of people pretending to be students.
Yep.
And are not genuine students.
Yeah,
and so some of these individuals may see, okay, coming to the UK, pretending to be student is easier. To be honest, it's not. I mean, we have had examples of that. I think most universities have. I think there's some rumors that if you pretend to be a student and then disappear somewhere, you can get your CAS deposit back. No, you can't. So
Yeah.
that's £7,000 which is lost straight away. And again, in cases like that, we automatically cancel the visa and everything. So
Yeah, absolutely.
these individuals end up in the country illegally, not in a very good position. So as long as you are genuinely wanting to come to study here, you would be fine in the interview. But unfortunately, we don't offer second chances at that.
Because most of the cases is getting the second chance from different type of universities from United Kingdom as well. That's why I'm asking this question, like they were a bit lacking in English speaking, a bit lacking in researching about the universities. So in that triggers, is there any chance of getting the second chance? That's why.
No, we don't do that at the moment. I'll be surprised if the universities you mentioned are continuing that policy, because what is happening in terms of rules and regulations now in the UK, and many of you have probably heard this on the news. There was recently, I said recently, I think it was 6-7 months ago,
Yeah.
the government published a document aimed at universities, and what they essentially said is you can continue to recruit as many international students as you want. So I think that's a positive. It's not like in some countries, you know, the USA, Canada, Australia, which are becoming quite strict. So the
Yeah.
UK government is saying to universities, you know, recruit as many students as you like, but if we start to see too many visa refusals, that becomes a problem. And that is why we are being a little bit cautious here, because yes, as I mentioned quite early on, we have seen an increase in the number of students failing visa interviews for silly reasons.
Yeah.
Which is why we are very hesitant to allow sort of second chances.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the last question is, in terms of medium of instruction, are you guys accepting any MOI certificate from Bangladesh?
Not at the moment. I doubt we'll be accepting anything like that this year. We will be reviewing the sort of English qualifications we're accepting. To be very honest, you know, I mentioned government regulations and so on. I was expecting this would be something to be raised. I was expecting the government to say to universities, what are you doing accepting these letters? You can't accept these letters anymore, etc., etc. That hasn't happened yet. And I do know there are other universities that accept these letters. Unfortunately, we're not going to be in that position over the course of this year. What I would advise you guys to do, even if you studied an academic program in English, I think it's worthwhile doing IELTS. We do accept online IELTS. We accept the online TOEFL or TOEFL at home, whatever it's called. The reason why we're being maybe a little bit strict about this is we have noticed students struggling with dissertations, especially master degree students. As part of your master degree, and again, please check out the web pages. So you go to courses and whatever it is you're interested in, you know, accounting and finance, scroll to the bottom and there's a section on course details and it breaks down exactly what you're studying. And the majority, certainly, of master programs will include quite a big dissertation, which can be around 20,000 words. That's normally done during the final 3 months of your academic program. What we've noticed is various issues in terms of written English and so on. Now, technology is catching up with this and is assisting students to improve their English, but that is the reason why we're requesting these tests. I think it would be good for you if you do have a go and get one of these bigger tests.
So we had such an insightful session today. So finally, do you have anything to say to in Global Education Limited, especially students for the one in Bangladesh?
Well, what I would advise to students, again, please have a look at what the various courses we have on our website. Talk to one of the advisors at our agent, Ian Global. You can contact the international team directly. It is international@northampton.ac.uk if you have any questions for us. So my only advice for you out there is just please, you know, do your research, find out what you want to do. You understand why you want to do it. and make sure you have the finances in place to cover the costs.
So finally, thank you, Mr. Chris Neville, for your valuable time and information. And thank you everyone for joining us today. Hope to see you again on another day in another live session. Have a great day. Thank you very much,
Thanks
Mr.
for having
Chris.
me. Take care, everyone. Bye bye now.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Take care.